Have you ever heard of someone selling their house and like dipping into their retirement savings, all to start a nonprofit? It sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what Joe Barb did
Wow.
to help homeless youth in his community. We're taking a deep dive into his story today, using a USDA rural development success story as our guide.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
It's certainly not the typical path for someone starting a nonprofit. Makes you wonder what would drive someone to make such a personal sacrifice.
well, Joe's journey started in a pretty unexpected place,
Okay.
a barber shop. He was there with his son during the peak of the COVID pandemic, and it was the only barbershop open in town.
Okay.
She noticed a young person seeking refuge inside, clearly homeless and with nowhere else to go.
That seemingly insignificant moment sparked something in Joe.
Yeah.
It's interesting how a simple act of noticing someone in need can have such a profound impact.
It really resonated with him on a personal level, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He remembers being 18 himself, facing hard times and needing someone to help him get back on his feet. He was fortunate enough to have an attorney mentor him, which helped him stabilize his life and rebuild his relationship with his family.
It speaks to that inherent human desire to pay it forward, to break the cycle of hardship and offer support to others who are struggling.
Yeah.
But Joe's response wasn't just about offering a meal or a kind word.
No.
He went all in, selling his house, using his savings, and even dipping into his retirement to create the Family Connection Center.
Okay, hold on. Because that's a massive risk.
Yeah.
I mean, most people starting nonprofits rely on grants or donations. Why would he put his own financial security on the line like that?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
And gets to the heart of Joe's motivation.
Okay.
It's one thing to sympathize with a cause, but it's another level entirely to make that kind of personal sacrifice.
Right.
It suggests a deep, unwavering conviction in his mission.
Yeah.
A belief that this was the only way to make a real difference.
So tell me more about the Family Connection Center.
Okay.
It's more than just a shelter.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
It provides transitional housing, which is critical for getting young people off the streets.
Right.
But it goes far beyond that.
Okay.
They offer life skills training, helping these kids learn essential skills like budgeting, cooking, and job searching.
Yeah.
Things that many of us take for granted.
Joe talked about how these skills are often learned through osmosis by being around family or mentors.
Yeah.
But for at-risk youth, that learning environment is often missing.
Right.
It's like the Youth Center is creating a safety net to catch them while equipping them with tools to launch into adulthood.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's not just about providing temporary relief. It's about addressing the root causes of youth homelessness and empowering them to build stable, independent lives.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible how this center is filling these gaps.
Yeah.
Giving these young people a chance to not only survive, but actually thrive.
Right.
But this journey to help others had a surprising effect on Joe's own life, didn't it?
It did indeed.
Oh.
While guiding these young people towards finding housing, Joe stumbled upon the USDA Rural Development Program. He discovered to his surprise that he qualified for a home loan himself.
Wow, what a twist.
Yeah.
So the man who gave up his home to help others find theirs ends up finding a path back to homeownership himself.
Right.
You can't make this stuff up.
It's almost poetic.
Yeah.
Joe's selflessness inadvertently led him back to a place of stability he thought he'd left behind.
Wow.
It's a compelling example of how helping others can sometimes open unexpected doors in our own lives.
And when Joe talks about finally having a place of his own again, you can hear the relief and joy in his voice.
Yeah.
He described it as sitting down at a table in a home that's yours and having a meal. It's probably the best experience anyone could ever have.
It underscores the profound impact that stable housing has on our overall well-being.
Right.
Imagine the constant worry of renting. Lease renewals, potential rent, increases the fear of being uprooted.
Yeah.
Homeownership provides a sense of security, a foundation upon which to build other aspects of your life.
And it's that very foundation that Joe wants to pass on to his son. He spoke about the importance of generational wealth and breaking those cycles of instability.
Right.
It's about giving his son a solid start, a place to call home.
And you know, this ties back beautifully to the mentor who helped Joe when he was just 18.
Oh, wow.
It illustrates how acts of kindness and support can resonate across generations. The positive impact can ripple outward, creating a chain reaction far beyond the initial act.
It's like planting a seed that grows into something much larger than you ever imagined.
Yeah.
But Joe doesn't plan to stop there, does he?
He doesn't.
He has this ambitious goal of creating homeownership opportunities for the very youth he serves at the Family Connection Center.
Wow.
He's aiming to tackle the issue of chronic homelessness head-on.
It's a bold vision.
Yeah.
And begs the question, could this model be replicated in other communities?
Right.
Could Joe's approach be a blueprint for addressing this issue on a much larger scale? It's a question worth exploring.
Oh, absolutely. And think about the impact they've already made.
Yeah.
The Family Connection Center has helped over 500 youth, with 170 currently in their programs.
That's incredible.
That's incredible, especially considering it all started with one man's decision to help a young person in need.
What's so inspiring about Joe's story is that it reminds us that individual actions can have a significant impact. It challenges us to think about the small acts of kindness or support we can offer that might have a surprisingly large ripple effect.
It makes you wonder what could happen if each of us committed to even a small act of support.
Right.
What kind of positive change could we create in our own communities?
Imagine the collective impact if we all drew inspiration from Joe's story.
Yeah.
It's about shifting our perspective from what's possible for ourselves to what's possible for our communities.
And as we wrap up our deep dive into Joe Barb's extraordinary journey, we're left with this incredibly powerful image of one man's selflessness sparking a wave of positive change. He not only transformed the lives of countless at-risk youth, but also rediscovered his own path to homeownership.
Right.
And it seems a profound sense of purpose.
Joe's story is a powerful testament to the idea that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, individual actions can make a difference.
Yeah.
It's a call to action for all of us to consider how we can contribute to a more just and compassionate world.
It really is a powerful story.
Yeah.
And one that makes you think about your own potential impact.
Right.
What could you do, even in a small way, to make a difference in your community?
That's the real takeaway here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Joe's story isn't just heartwarming.
Oh.
It's a challenge to each of us. It forces us to ask, what small act of kindness or support could I offer that might have a surprisingly large impact? We all have the capacity to be that spark, that catalyst for positive change.
And sometimes those seemingly small acts can lead to the biggest transformations, both for others and for ourselves.
Right.
Just like Joe found his own path to homeownership while helping others find theirs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Joe's story so compelling. It highlights the interconnectedness of our actions.
Okay.
When we choose compassion and support, it creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves.
Yeah.
We might never fully grasp the extent of that impact.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Joe's inspiring journey, let's remember that we all have the power to make a difference.
Absolutely.
Whether it's volunteering our time, donating to a cause we believe in, or simply offering a helping hand to someone in need. Each act of kindness can create a ripple that contributes to a more just and compassionate world.
I think that's a great place to leave it.
Yeah, thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.